The last mode is taking full control of the camera. We're going to switch over to manual mode on the top here, and that allows us to change the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. So on the back of the camera, you'll see now we have access to see both the shutter speed and the aperture and the ISO. When you're in manual mode, you can't go auto ISO. You have to choose the ISO yourself. So right now that little dial symbol is on the shutter speed, so that's what it's allowing us to change. Now all of a sudden this little plus minus button has changed to a button that we press if we want to switch to change our aperture and go back and forth between aperture and shutter speed. So you'll see that little dial has changed now, and it's on the aperture instead. Okay. We also have our light meter on the bottom, so that gives you a gauge on where you think things should be. You know, if you're trying to get to the center of that light meter, that's going to be what the camera thinks is the best type of light. You can always just look at the image on the screen though, and that's going to show you how bright or dark it looks too. So that's something to keep in mind before you take your picture. Again, manual mode, you have full control over your picture. You choose how you want motion to be seen, whether it's frozen or blurred with the shutter speed. You decide how your depth of field is going to look. So if you want to have a shorter depth of field and let more light in, or a longer depth of field and let less light in through your aperture. And then you also have control of that ISO. Okay, rule of thumb, go as low as you can while still getting the picture to be the way that you want it to be. Right? The higher the ISO, the lower the quality of your picture. So if I go all the way up to 3200 here and I take away light with my other two settings, the picture that is created with this ends up being a really low quality picture. So if we look at it and we zoom on in here, there's just going to be all sorts of digital noise. I know it might be a little bit hard to see on the video here, but not a very good quality picture. So again, go as low as you can while still getting the type of picture that you want. But again, manual mode, full control of the picture. But it does take a little bit longer for you to set up your shots. So it's just something to keep in mind there.